Clara only wanted two things: clear skin and a little fame on Instagram. One night she found a secret cream that promised both. Skin so flawless it could turn anyone into a star, but with every drop she rubbed on her face, something inside her began to fade, until even her own shadow disappeared, and she moved through life like a living corpse. This is a story that teaches us how chasing the wrong kind of glow and social fame can cost more than beauty. It can cost your very soul. My name is Vivian, and Clara was my cousin's sister. I still remember the first day I saw Clara's skin after she bought that cream. It was like someone switched on a light inside her body. Her face started shining smooth and soft. Even the little scar on her chin that she always covered with foundation was gone. I stood in the middle of our small room in Surulere, holding my towel and staring. "Clara, which soap is this again?" I asked. She turned, smiling, the kind of smile you see in adverts. "Not soap," she said. "Serum. It's called Moon Skin Elixir." The name alone sounded like something from a movie. Before that day, Clara was just a regular Lagos girl trying to blow on Instagram. She loved clothes, loved makeup, and loved posting short reels about soft life on a budget. But no matter how she tried, her followers stayed stuck around 3,000. She wanted more. She wanted to be the kind of slay queen brands call first for jobs. Me, I didn't care about all that. I only wanted to finish my fashion design apprenticeship and open a small shop. But Clara? She wanted the big spotlight. One evening she rushed in while I was preparing dinner. Her eyes were wide like someone that had just won the lottery. "Vivian! Look what I found!" She shoved her phone at me. On the screen was a picture of a girl with skin so smooth you could see your future inside it. The girl was holding a slim glass bottle with silver writing, "Moonskin Elixir." "Where did you see this?" I asked. "WhatsApp group," Clara said, lowering her voice like she was sharing a secret. "It's not in shops. You get an invitation link, then you pay. They even say the owner picks who she sells to," I hissed. "These are all scams," I muttered. But she just rolled her eyes. She didn't even answer again. She was already texting the seller. 2 days later, a small black package arrived at our gate. The strange thing was that there was no name, no receipt, just her number written with a gold marker. Inside was a bottle filled with clear, glowing liquid and a card that read, "For those who deserve to shine." She screamed when she opened it. "Vivian, this is the secret I've been waiting for." I shook my head. "Better be careful." "All these secret creams can burn skin," I said. She laughed. "This one is not bleaching, oh. They said it's made from moonlight plants and sea pearl." I rolled my eyes. "Moonlight plant K? Okay, we'll see about that." That night, she rubbed a small drop on her face before going to sleep. By morning, I almost dropped my phone when I saw her. Her skin looked like polished marble. No pimples, no blackheads. Even her neck and shoulders glowed faintly, like someone had put a glowing bulb inside her body. She couldn't stop checking herself in our cracked mirror. "Vivian, see me now. I have finally blown." Immediately, she posted a selfie. Within 1 hour, over 2,000 likes. Brands started commenting. "DM us, please. You're glowing." She danced around the room singing, "Soft life, here I come." For 1 week, Clara lived inside a happy storm. PR parcels arrived, wigs, dresses, lip gloss. She went for a small shoot at Surulere Mall. The photographer even gave her free pictures because, in his words, he said, "Girl, you sparkle like a flash." I was happy for her, but something small inside me felt uneasy. I noticed how she always reached for the serum morning and night. "If you use too much, it may finish fast," I warned. But she waved me off. "Babe, you don't understand. This glow cannot stop. People love me now." Then strange things started. It was a Saturday morning. We went to buy some provisions by the junction. I greeted the woman selling, but she didn't even look at Clara. She only asked for my order as if Clara wasn't standing there. "Maybe she didn't see me well," Clara said, frowning, while pressing her phone and trying to upload a picture to impress her followers. Another time at Yaba Market, a guy selling jeans brushed past her shoulder like she was empty air, but he turned and smiled at me. At first, we laughed it off. Lagos people can be blind sometimes, we joked, but it kept happening. Bus conductors skipping her in line, neighbors greeting me but not her. Meanwhile, online her pictures were fire, but comments slowed. From 5,000 likes, they dropped to barely 200, no matter how fine the photo. That evening, she sat on her bed scrolling her phone. "Vivian, see numbers. Even my old posts have lost likes." "How?" she asked worriedly. I tried to comfort her. "Maybe the algorithm changed." She shook her head. "No, something is wrong. I feel light, like I'm floating, but also heavy." I looked at her, confused. Later that week, I caught her standing before the mirror, touching her face like she was not sure it belonged to her. There were faint silver lines on her cheekbones, almost like cracks on glass. When I blinked, they vanished. "Clara, did you see that?" I asked. "See what?" she asked, pretending. "Your face just now," I wanted to say, but she was already rubbing more serum, covering whatever I saw. My worry grew. I decided to search about Moonskin online. The brand had no website, only a Telegram page with perfect photos of glowing women. Their captions read, "Join the Moon Vibe." Scrolling further, I found a small blog post from 2 years ago. The writer complained that after using a popular glow product, she became invisible to her friends and lost her job because nobody noticed her anymore. The post ended abruptly, no comments allowed. A chill ran through my body. I called Clara's attention, but she was too busy filming a skincare reel. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking of those silver cracks. Around midnight, I heard soft crying. I sat up, and Clara was on the floor, hugging her knees. "I'm scared, Vivian," she whispered. "When I don't rub it, my body feels like smoke." Like I'm disappearing, I hugged her tight. Her skin felt cold, not like fever cold, but empty cold, like someone drained the warmth. "We'll find out what's inside that thing," I promised. But deep inside, I was scared of what she was turning into. The next morning, I decided to trace the parcel. I called the dispatch rider's number on the wrapper, pretending I wanted to order. He said he only picked from a spa in Lekki Phase 1. They never allowed him inside. That a lady in white always brought the packages to the gate. Spa? Serum? White clothes? My heart beat faster. I begged him for the address, but he refused. "Auntie, I can't say." "Those people are scary," he said. When I told Clara, her face went pale. "Maybe leave it, Vivian. I'll just stop using it." But that evening I caught her applying the serum again. "Only small," she said with shame in her eyes. "Without it, I feel dull, like I'm fading." That was when I finally realized it wasn't just cream. It had tied itself to her somehow. The final straw happened on a Sunday after church. We stopped by an ice cream shop. As we walked out, a little girl suddenly screamed and pointed at Clara. "Mummy, that lady has no shadow." Everyone laughed, thinking it was a child's joke. But I looked down and froze. The sun behind us cast my shadow clear on the floor, but Clara's side was blank. I grabbed her hand and dragged her outside. She was shaking badly. "Did you see?" she whispered. I nodded, unable to speak. Fear tore through us, and we went home in silence. That night, I placed the serum on the table. The liquid glimmered faintly, like tiny stars trapped in water. "Clara," I said, "we must find whoever made this thing." Her eyes were wet. "What if it's too late?" she mumbled. I reached for her hands. "As long as you're still here, it's not too late," I reassured her. She let out a shaky breath and gave a small nod. That was when I knew that our journey had just started, and whatever was inside that silver bottle wanted more than clear skin. It wanted her soul. For 2 days after the shadow incident, Clara stayed quiet. She wore big sunglasses even inside the house, as if hiding from something only she could see. She didn't post any new reels. She barely touched food. I couldn't sit and watch her waste away. On Tuesday morning, while she was still sleeping, I took the small bottle of moonskin elixir and wrapped it inside an old scarf. I dropped it deep inside my sewing box. Maybe if she didn't see it, she would stop. But by evening, she had already found it. "Vivian, please don't touch my things again," she said softly, holding the bottle to her chest. Her eyes looked bruised even though she had no makeup on. "I know this thing is dangerous, but I can't stay without it." The moment I stop, my body starts shaking. I wanted to shout, but the way her hands trembled stopped me. "Okay," I said. "Then we go together. Whoever sold this to you must explain." She hesitated, then nodded slowly. The next morning, I borrowed my boss's old phone and called the dispatch rider again. I pretended I was a new customer who wanted the spa's VIP glow package. Maybe he pitied me, because this time he whispered an address in Lekki Phase 1, close to Admiralty Road. "Please don't say I told you," he warned. "Those women are powerful. I don't want trouble." I thanked him and ended the call. When I told Clara, she bit her lip. "We can't just walk in there," she said. "They will know. Then we go like clients," I replied. "You will ask for refund or a new bottle, and I'll act like your sister." That evening we planned everything. I packed my small power bank, a torch, and an old voice recorder I used for tailoring tutorials. Clara wore jeans and a loose shirt. No makeup, no serum. For the first time in weeks, I could see her real face, soft brown skin, tiny freckles, and tired but kind eyes. The next day, we boarded a bus from Surulere, then a cab to Lekki. The sun was hot, and traffic was heavy. As we entered the estate, silence covered everything. No hawkers, no commercial vehicles, no music from shops, only neat houses and shiny cars. Number 17 stood at the end of a short street. A high white fence surrounded it. At the gate, a small camera blinked red. I pressed the bell. After a few seconds, the gate slid open without noise. A woman in a plain white gown appeared. Her face was smooth, her expression calm, like too calm. "Good afternoon," I said, forcing a smile. "My sister came here before. We want to ask some questions." The woman looked at Clara for a long moment, then stepped aside. "Follow me," she said. Inside was not like a normal spa. The air was cool but heavy, smelling of flowers and something faintly metallic. Soft music floated from somewhere, but the notes didn't form a song. She led us into a lounge with cream chairs and a glass table. On the table sat a single candle burning with blue flame. "Wait here," the woman said, then disappeared through a sliding door. Clara's fingers gripped my arm. "Vivian, this place is not pure," she muttered. "I know," I whispered. My recorder was already on, hidden inside my bag. After some minutes, another lady came out, older, wearing a sliver top. Her skin looked perfect, almost glowing from inside. "Welcome," she said smoothly. "I am Lydia, caretaker of Moonskin House." "What troubles you?" Clara swallowed hard. "Ma, I used the serum, but I don't feel well. People don't see me anymore. I'm scared." Lydia smiled gently, like a teacher humoring a child. "That means you used it correctly." "What do you mean?" I asked sharply. "The elixir removes noise from a person," she replied. "It lets your beauty speak louder than the world." "But she's fading," I said. "Her shadow disappeared." Lydia's smile didn't move. "Not everyone is built to carry pure light." Before we could ask more, she stood up. "Madam will want to meet you herself." "Wait," she said, and left us again. When the sliding door finally opened, another woman walked out. She looked tall, slim, wrapped in a flowing gray gown. Her hair was long with silver at the tips, and her eyes looked like polished stone. "Oh, so you are the one," she said, staring at Clara. Her voice was low but clear. "I'm Doris, founder of Moonskin." Clara bent her head slightly. "Good afternoon, Ma." Doris's gaze moved to me. "And you?" "I'm her cousin," I said. "We just want to understand what this thing is doing to her." She smiled faintly, but her eyes stayed cold. "Moonskin doesn't hurt anyone. It only reveals what?" I asked. "Your inner shine," she said. "But shine is not free, my dear. When light enters, something else must leave." "What leaves?" I demanded. Doris bent her head slightly. "Sometimes memory, sometimes warmth, sometimes the thread that ties you to others. Each person is different." My stomach tightened. "Then take it back." "She doesn't want to lose anything," I requested. Doris laughed softly. "Once light has tasted darkness, it never returns the same." Before I could reply, she handed Clara a silver envelope. "Inside is an invitation. Come to our gathering this weekend. If you want balance, that is where you will find it." Clara took the envelope with shaky hands. Doris touched her cheek lightly, then walked back through the door. The caretaker reappeared, signaling us to leave. Outside the gate, we walked fast, not talking until we reached the main road. Clara finally stopped. "Vivian, I don't want to go," she said, holding the envelope. "That place is strange." "I agree," I said. "But if we don't go, how will we know what they are doing?" She opened the envelope. Inside was a small card, in it written, "Moon Gathering, Saturday 11 p.m., keep your glow alive." No address, just a shiny QR code. "Maybe it's a trap," she whispered. "Maybe," I said, "but whatever is happening to you started with them, and we must finish it there." That night, I woke up to soft humming. I sat up to see. Clara stood by the window. The moonlight shone across her face. She was rubbing the last drops of serum on her arms, even though I had hidden the bottle again. "Clara!" I shouted. "What are you doing?" She turned slowly. Her eyes glowed faint silver. "I told you I can't sleep without it. When I don't use it, I feel like I'm floating away." I hurried over and snatched the empty bottle from her hands. She didn't even fight me, just sighed and crawled back to bed, curling up like a child. I lay awake till dawn, staring at the serum. The liquid inside was almost gone, but it still shimmered faintly, like trapped moonlight. The next day, I called an old friend, Kunli, who worked as a security guard in Lekki. I told him everything. He laughed at first, but when he saw Clara's pale skin and tired eyes, his smile faded. "Those rich people run some kind of things that normal eye can't understand," he said. "If you guys want to go to that meeting, better prepare." "Prepare how?" I asked. He gave me a small leather tied with red thread. "My grandma gave me this. She says it protects from spirits that steal shine. Just hold it." I wasn't sure if things like that worked, but I took it. The days passed. Clara stopped posting completely. She spent most of her time sitting near the window, staring at nothing. Her skin still looked perfect, but her eyes were dull. On Friday evening, she said quietly, "I fell into this trap because I wanted to impress social media and glow. Maybe I should just let them take everything. At least I won't feel empty." I knelt beside her and countered it immediately. "No, Clara. That's not you talking. That's the thing inside that cream. We will go there, but we'll fight." For a moment, I saw a spark in her eyes, small but real. That Saturday, we dressed simply. Black tops, dark jeans, flat shoes. I hid what Kunle gave me in my pocket and slipped my recorder into my bra. Clara tied her hair up and wore no earrings. At 10:30 p.m., we ordered a Bolt and scanned the QR code. A map appeared, leading us toward a quiet part of Ikoyi. The driver dropped us near a gated compound lit with soft white lights. A woman in gray waited by the entrance. She didn't ask our names, just nodded and opened the gate. Inside, the path curved through a garden glowed faintly under the moon. Far ahead, we could see a glass building. Light spilled from its walls. Soft voices floated in the air like distant singing. Clara's hand slipped into mine. "Vivian, promise you won't leave me," she whispered. "I won't," I said. We walked forward together into the strange light. The glass house stood in the center of the compound, like something from another world. Soft lights pulsed through its walls, changing slowly from white to blue, then silver. The air smelled of flowers mixed with wet stone. A tall man in a white caftan opened the door for us. He didn't speak, only bowed slightly. His face looked blank like carved wood. Inside, the place looked more like an art gallery than a spa. Clear bowls of water sat on low tables, each one glowing faintly. Long mirrors lined the walls, but when I glanced at them, I saw only empty glass. No reflection of me, no reflection of Clara. My chest tightened. "You see that?" I whispered. Clara nodded, her eyes wide. "Yes." We don't show a low hum filled the room like many people breathing at the same time. As we moved further in, we saw them, about a dozen women sitting on cushions arranged in a circle. Every one of them had skin that looked poured from moonlight, but their eyes were dull, as if their soul were not in them. At the center stood Madame Doris, dressed in silver robes. She looked younger than before, her skin gleamed like wet glass. "Welcome, daughters of the glow," she said in a smooth voice. "Tonight, you will understand." She beckoned us closer. Two attendants carried small trays holding glasses filled with liquid that sparkled like stars. "This is the renewal," Doris said. "A taste keeps the light steady. But let me warn you, refuse, and you risk losing everything the elixir gave you, including your own soul." Clara's fingers squeezed my arm. I could feel her trembling. I cleared my throat, then spoke. "We didn't come to drink," I said. "We came to ask why your cream is making her fade." Doris's smile was soft but dangerous. "Because light is never free, little cousin. To shine, you must give. That is the balance." "What exactly are you taking?" I demanded. She gestured toward the mirrors. At her signal, attendants pulled white clothes away from the glass. Suddenly, every mirror lit up. But instead of us, they showed moving pictures. Clara laughing on her first live video, an old woman smiling with her market basket, a young model dancing. All of them glowed brightly inside the glass, while their real-world selves sat pale and lost in the circle. Clara gasped. "That's me! That's my laughter!" Doris nodded. "Your destiny and light. The glow is your life's warmth, stored safely where it will not grow old." I felt cold. "So you steal people's souls just to stay young?" I asked in a shaky voice. "Steal?" Doris laughed cruelly. "We preserve beauty for those who deserve it. They give consent the moment they rub the elixir." I stepped forward. My voice trembled as I spoke. "We're leaving. Give her back what you took." Doris's eyes darkened. "Give back!" "I see you're bold. If you must know, to break the bond, she must destroy the link herself. But beware. When mirrors crack, some light is lost forever." She gestured toward a stand where a single crystal bottle rested, the same kind that carried moonskin, only bigger, swirling with trapped silver light. Clara stared at it, then at the mirrors showing her smiles, her old warmth, and even her voice. Tears filled her eyes. "That's everything I am," she whispered. "Yes," Doris purred. "Drink from the renewal and keep your glow, or break the link and watch your soul dim." For a long moment, Clara didn't move. The room was silent except for the hum coming from the mirrors. I held her hand. "Sister, your life is more than skin," I said quietly. "We'll find a way out, but go ahead and do it." Her eyes met mine, tired but brave. She let out a shaky breath, then turned toward the stand. Before Doris could react, Clara grabbed the crystal bottle and raised it high. Light flickered wildly inside, throwing silver lines across the ceiling. "Stop!" Doris shouted. But Clara slammed the bottle against the nearest mirror. The sound was like thunder inside a closed room. Cracks raced across the mirror, spreading to the others. Silver mist poured out, swirling like smoke mixed with stars. The women in the circle gasped. Some clutched their chests as if they'd just regained their consciousness. Doris screamed, a sharp sound that didn't belong to any human throat. Her glowing skin turned dull, lines appeared around her eyes. "Foolish girl," she hissed. "You don't know what you've done!" But Clara stood firm. Pieces of glass glittered at her feet. "I want my life back," her voice shook as she demanded now. The last mirror burst, showering the floor with tiny pieces. Light rushed into Clara, wrapping her in a warm glow. Not the cold shine from before, but something softer and alive. She staggered. Then I caught her. Around us, attendants ran to steady the other women, many of whom were weeping as consciousness returned to their faces. Doris backed away, her face twisted. For the first time, she looked her real age, mid-50s at least, skin sagging where it had been tight. "This is not over," she spat. "There will always be people who trade souls for glow and fame." I pulled Clara toward the exit. The guards by the door didn't try to stop us. They looked frightened, as if the spell that kept them blank had also been broken. We ran across the garden, with tiny pieces of glass still crunching under our shoes. Behind us, the glass house sparkled weakly now, and its lights faded. At the gate, Clara paused to catch her breath. Her face looked different. Tired, yes, but warm and human again. She clutched my arm. "Vivian, we must tell someone. They can't keep trapping people." I nodded. "Tomorrow we'll go to the police, to the agency, anybody that will listen. We'll show them this place." We hurried down the street until we found a cab. As it drove off, I looked back. Moonskin House stood dark, almost invisible against the night. Back in Surulere, Clara collapsed on the bed, almost asleep before I finished locking the door. I sat beside her, brushing pieces of glass from her hair. Her breathing was steady now. I checked the recorder hidden in my bra. The red light still blinked. I pressed play. There was the sound of static hiss, then fragments of voices. Doris explaining, "Light must leave," the crash of glass, Clara shouting, "Proof." For the first time in weeks, hope pushed against my ribs. When dawn came, sunlight spilled through our window. Clara stirred and opened her eyes. They no longer carried that metallic sheen. They were clear brown, the way I remembered from childhood. She smiled weakly. "I feel heavy, but good heavy. Like I'm here again," she whispered and hugged me tightly. But we both knew the fight wasn't finished. We still had to make the world see what Moonskin had done, but for now, she was safe. And the freedom? It wouldn't last if Doris and her people stayed in business. We made a list of everywhere to go, including the police station, agency that fight this kind of case, even a contact my friend Kunle had in an investigative newspaper. Kunle came over later that morning. When he saw Clara, tired but alive, he shook his head. "So you two really fought witches last night," he said. "Something like that?" I replied. He drove us to the station first. At first, the officers laughed when we mentioned serum stealing people's souls. But when I played the recording and showed them photos of the smashed mirrors I had snapped with my phone, their faces changed. The DPO told two men to write statements and collect the bottle shards we had carried in a nylon bag. From there, we went to the agency that looked into products that are sold by vendors in the state. They were more serious. A tall woman with glasses listened carefully, then examined the last drops of serum in the broken bottle. "This product was never registered," she said, "and there are unknown particles here. We will definitely send a team, By afternoon, we had given copies of the audio and photos to a journalist. He promised to keep our names private but publish the story once the agency confirmed details. 2 days later, an operation took place at the Lecky house. Kunle called to tell us. "They blocked the road with 3 vans," he said in excitement. "The agency, police, and even one from the health ministry." They carried boxes out of the compound. By evening, the news was on TV. Illegal cosmetic network busted in Lecky. Reporters described secret creams containing dangerous substances and spiritual and psychological manipulation of clients. They showed blurred images of Doris and her cohorts finally arrested and being led into the vehicle. Clara and I watched silently, holding hands together. For the first time, the heaviness around our small room began to lift. Clara began to heal, but she still woke up sometimes shaking, as if part of her body expected to vanish. I kept reminding her, "You're here. You survived." Within weeks, she started helping me at my sewing table. At first, she only sat and watched, but soon she began threading needles, cutting clothes, and laughing softly at my jokes. Her skin lost the fake silver glow and became warm brown again, with little scars from her childhood shining proudly. People could see her again. She learned her biggest lesson. She didn't rush back online to impress followers anymore or chase after likes and social fame. Her old page was still there, but she posted only one thing, a short video of herself without filters saying, "Real glow comes from peace." It got plenty of likes, but she didn't check the numbers. She just laughed and went back to helping me iron fabric. And sometimes, I caught Clara staring at her reflection for too long, like she was checking that no part of her was still trapped in some mirror. Moral of the story. Dear friends, in today's world of filters, likes, and endless scrolling, it's easy to forget that beauty is more than smooth skin or how perfect we look online. Clara's story warns us that when you chase approval and fame from strangers or fight to keep up with social media trends, you can lose the very soul that makes you alive. No glow, no viral post, no cream is worth your peace, your joy, or the love you carry for yourself. Real light is quiet. It comes from living with confidence, kindness, and contentment, even when no one is watching. Have you ever felt pressured to look perfect just to please social media? Do you think people sometimes trade their happiness for online attention? What about the pressure of using things that endangered your well-being? What about peer pressure? How did you handle it as an individual or as a parent? Let us know in the comments. Your voice could help someone who needs to hear it. And if this story touched you, please like, subscribe, and stay with us here at African Tales by Emma Day, where we share stories that protect our hearts, open our eyes, and teach us wisdom. Until next time, stay blessed.